I wanted to do this video on masculinity and something I saw on someone else's channel, specifically Officer Tatum's channel. And this is something that I kind of always had this perspective. Like, some people feel like masculinity is attacked. And men are attacked. I kind of have the mentality like this. I see men and many people attacking masculinity on many different levels, and I do agree with that. But my thing is, the whole idea with like feminists being against masculinity of some sort, I have this mentality where I kind of think people should be allowed to be how they are, kind of like thing, so I don't really have an issue with that. My thing is, now, as a woman, I don't think we have to be partial to that, so to speak. Like, if I'm not naturally partial to a man who's masculine, then I'm not meant for him. I don't think that anything's wrong with him. I think he is meant to be with somebody else who will love him for who he truly is. Me, I would always try and make him into something else he's not, if I was trying to make him mine, because I can't really understand why I would want someone who would want to, take more of the dominant role, take the and be the one who's wears the pants in my relationship or leads. Those are things that I would not be into personally, but I don't have anything against people who need to do that, who need to take that role. Maybe it's because I understand it from a personal perspective, that I think that men who have that should be allowed to have that and just not be judged for that. They should be allowed to be how they are with the women who will love them for who they are. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. To me, I just was kind of like, I didn't see what was wrong with either perspective. Like, in the sense of, one, I wouldn't understand why anyone would attack someone for how they want to live their lives. I mean, it's their life. Let them be. You know what I mean? But on top of it, I also don't think that every woman should be partial to a man like that. We're not all robots. You know what I mean? So we can like different things. We can want different types of men. Not all of us are going to want that type of relationship and that type of man, because we won't be compatible for that man, and that man won't be compatible for us. I guess for me, I believe in compatibility, and so to me, it's like not everyone is made for everyone. There is the one, there isn't many, there isn't all, there is the one for you, and you just gotta find the one for you, not the, so to speak, like I said in another video, So, to me, I don't know, it's just like, yeah. On another topic, I wanted to say, seeing some of the people who were trans on that video, it was weird to me because it was like, man was trying to say that they look like they could pass. I never understand why people say that, because if you look like at them, to me, I guess as a person who's not attracted to men, you wouldn't know, but I'm attracted to men. I didn't see anyone who I thought looked like a woman. Looked like a man to me. I thought everybody on that side looked like women, but they looked like people who have more like hair on their bodies, and the voice was not very deep. Like, from my perspective, if that's deep, then do I have a man's voice? I don't think I have a man's voice. I really don't. I think my voice is more so like a heavy female's voice, because if you look at the HZs on my voice, it's generally between about 220 to 200 when I'm speaking, but it can go all the way down to about 170. Men are about 165, 155 to 165 is where the male voice starts. Androgynous is somewhere between like 160 and 170. So as you can tell, I fall more on the lower end, you know. But I wouldn't say that I have a man's voice. And these people, their voices were high, very high. You could just hear that there was testosterone in their voice, but it was still very high. Now, with that in mind, I've seen a lot of transgender people who actually do have deep voices. Think of it this way. For example, in some of the trans youth groups, some people who I guess we could say, this person was not, I never remember them saying that they were a he or a she. They always said they were a they. So I'm just going to say they. They started off before testosterone having a voice like mine, basically, where it's a deeper female voice, basically. And then with testosterone, the voice basically bassed out. It was like very low to the ground, basically. So, I mean, like, I know voices can change, you know. But in those cases, they didn't sound like they were very deep in their voice, honestly. They seemed like maybe their voice was around 170, 180, maybe 160. Androgynous, much, maybe, but not male. I didn't hear that they sounded male. And other things like their bodies weren't really... You see, this is a thing that actually bothers me because when I would look at trans men, I would always think, okay, if you can look at someone from behind and you still see an hourglass figure, or someone who's a bit more pear-shaped to the bottom half, then how much did it change? That's a problem that I've always seen. It's just many of the time I've seen people and they hold their weight on their lower half just like females do. Males don't hold their weight on their lower half. They hold it on their upper half. Even people who are intersex, for that matter, usually hold their weight on their upper half, not the lower half. So it's just like, you know, that's an obvious female trait. That, to me, I mean, some of the things they were saying about those people looking undistinguishable from men, I mean, superficially, yes, but from a person's perspective, someone who's attracted to men, no. Like, when I look at men who are, for example, overweight, I can still see, for the most part, that they still hold weight on the upper half. They still held most of their mass on their upper half, not the lower half. And also the facial structure and things of that nature. But anyway, yeah, so to me, I had some issue with him saying that they look like men. To me, I didn't see anyone who looked like someone who was born male. And you can say, yes, socially they're men, you know. I would never call them she's, you know. I don't believe in calling people things they don't want to be called. If they want to be called a he, call them a he. That's totally fine. But if you're asking me, can I clock them? Yes, of course I can. But that might be because I've been around a lot of transgender people in my youth. If anyone knows how when I was younger, I actually literally did try to consider transitioning. So, I mean, like, I know a lot about transgender people, especially trans men. But anyway, that's basically all I have to say in this video. Just as far as, like, masculinity and things of that nature, I don't see... Sorry about that, notification, but... Yeah, I don't see it as a threat. I don't see it as bad. People can be masculine, and I don't think it should be frowned upon, whoever it is, biological male or not.